Hey, what's up everybody? It's Max. I'm doing something completely brand new. I want to try and see if it works. So what I'm doing is I have a number in my Instagram bio, okay? Text me on that number or call me on that number. Put yourself in my address book and I'll randomly pick people throughout the week just to call and answer their questions. So right now there's a guy named Eric that I'm gonna call. Let's see if he answers the phone. Actually, where is 574 area code? I got it. I'm gonna put, I don't want to call him if it's like West Coast. Let's see here.
North Central Indiana.
Let's see if Eric's awake.
Hello?
Hey, what's up, Eric? This is Maxwell. How you doing?
Good, man. How's it going?
I'm doing well. Did I catch you at a good time?
Yeah, just actually walked into, well, they're not starting yet, but little seminar out here in Fort Wayne.
Okay. Well, look, man, you got.
I would like to make it out to one of yours, man. You're actually like one of the main guys that kind of motivated me to kind of, step out in this arena. I mean, I've had my real estate license, but they're inactive right now because I just wasn't selling that many houses back when I got it, and it was just costing me money every month.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
where are you at? I mean, you're in Indiana, you said, right?
Yep, all the way up north, like right on the Indiana-Michigan border.
Okay. All right. So you got a question for me?
Well, I guess my main question is, well, I've been watching a lot of your videos and learning a lot, but I was just curious as to, just kind of, when I see your name pop up, I kind of forgot what I was going to say, or ask you. Crap, my bad. You say you've only been doing this a couple years, right?
Yeah, less than 2 years, about 20 months.
Yeah. What is like one of the main things that I guess keeps you I guess I don't understand the behind the scenes. You know what I mean? Like I feel like there's so much more to it, and I could be just making it more difficult, but like I just feel like I don't know how to ask the question, I guess.
Well, I think Eric, I think the main thing here is you're kind of overthinking it, right? So you approach this field of real estate from a real estate agent's perspective, and there's a lot of tricks and ins and outs. There's a lot of things that you have to be cautious of as a real estate agent. They really scare you when you first get your license. In my YouTube videos, I really try to show you actually behind the scenes what goes on. That's kind of like the purpose of my channel, so you can really see kind of the day-to-day stuff that happens. Don't fall victim to analysis paralysis, man, because this business it's not easy, but the steps are easy, if that makes sense. You just have to be consistent. You're going to find your lane and you're going to stay in that lane for at least 6 months and give it a good solid shot as far as to what's going to work for you. I see a lot of people come in this business and get out. They come in because they see a lot of people posting checks and driving nice cars, but they don't see the behind the scenes of all the work that it actually takes. Okay?
Right.
So don't get sucked up in these seminars and don't think you need to know everything before you start. I didn't know anything before I started, and when I started, it took me 3 weeks and I closed my first 2 deals. So I expect for you to be able to do the same thing as long as you're persistent and you actually really, really, really want this.
Right. Yeah, real estate is my passion. I love just the thought of being in this field. You know what I mean? I know it's so lucrative, and that's why I got my license at first. But now I see it from a whole different perspective. You know what I mean? And to be able to make this kind of money with other people's money, just is mind blowing.
Yeah.
I kind of got myself in a position though now where it was like I felt like I needed to know more, and now I'm working with a guy who's been flipping houses for 30 years. Older white guy. He's been flipping houses for like 30 years. He has a bunch of property and stuff like that, and I'm working alongside of him. I kind of feel like an intern, you know what I mean? And I don't want to do that, but I feel like I would learn and see it firsthand. As I have a house in contract right now, and I have a guy who might, potential buyer this week, but still. I just feel like I'm going to be like more of an intern and then go out and do it when I might not even have to do that,
Yeah, well, you know what? Sometimes it's not bad to be close to what we call the sun so you can learn it, but just make sure you're learning from the right person. Somebody that's been flipping houses
Right.
for 30 years necessarily doesn't know the tactics that it takes to be a successful wholesaler. But man, like I said, put your head down, keep watching videos, be obsessed, don't have analysis paralysis. And I promise you, if you're obsessed with this, you're going to be successful, man. But I got a few other.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a few other calls to get to, but it was a pleasure speaking with you. And if you have any other questions, man, feel free to reach out to me on any of the social platforms, and I get to you when I can.
Okay, I appreciate it a lot, man. Thank you, man. It's
Good.
very inspiring, man. I appreciate it.
Good luck to you, brother.
All right, thanks, bro.
Bye. So that's call number 1. I want to keep doing this. I'm going to keep seeing who picks up the phone. I'll see you guys in a few. Let me see what Rick's number is.
This is Rick.
Hey, what's up, Rick? This is Maxwell. How you doing?
Doing well, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I catch you at a good time?
Yeah. I'm actually getting ready to head out the door to go take a look at some houses.
Awesome, man. Well, look, you got 5 minutes on the phone with me. What you got?
Say again? You connected to my headphones.
I said you got 5 minutes on the phone with me. What you got? You got any questions?
Yeah, I do. So honestly, my biggest question is this. I literally just quit my job last Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of moving forward, I've had 2 guys that have consistently been helping me out as far as cold calls go.
Okay.
And I've honestly, I'm struggling a lot in regards to how I pay them and how I keep them. Like, they're super motivated guys. They worked for me at my job.
Mm-hmm.
But now in the business, I want to keep them motivated. But I don't know how much to pay them. I don't know how much not to pay them. I don't want to overpay, but I definitely don't want to underpay. So I'm really struggling with that.
Okay. Have you let's see. Have they been productive? Have they been able to get you anything?
Yeah, they've definitely been productive. I mean, one of them is with me at all times, whichever one of them. I mean, so they're definitely productive. They're making phone calls. They're driving for dollars. They're doing that stuff. And honestly, what I've been doing, one of the guys, he pulled a list of vacant house data.
Mm-hmm.
And so they basically call that, and I'll close those deals for them. So the kind of deal is, if you call that stuff, and I'll close your deal 50%. All I want is 50%. You bought the list, whatever. If you close one of my deals, I'll give you 20% commission. So I don't have any sort of salary or anything set in place for them, but that's kind of how I've been working it out.
Here's what I'm seeing from an owner's perspective. They're more incentivized to call their own list versus your list. One, they're getting 50%.
Exactly.
One, they're getting 20%. So if they're going to work for you, they need to be incentivized pretty much the same, and you probably need to cut out their calling of their own list. You need to be providing them with numbers that you deem important to call. And if you can afford it, what I would do is put them on a draw. So essentially, give them like $250 a week, $200 a week, right? Enough to get ramen and noodles, right? We can all struggle a little bit before we get the pie. And then give them, if you want to do 20%, you're going to see that it's going to be kind of heavy. But listen, if that's what it takes for you to get started, give them a draw. So if you close, just to say a $10,000 deal, they'll make $2,000. And if it took them a month, and in that month you've paid them $1,000 worth of draw, then they're only going to get a $1,000 paycheck because they're going to reimburse you for the money you gave them. Now, a lot of the big guys, they require their sales agents to bring in between 40 and 50 a month, 1,000, and they are on regular salary until they reach a certain threshold, and then they get like bonuses. So what I would start out with is it's a small draw. If you can afford it, give them a couple $100 a week. just so they can survive. Keep them hungry enough to where they're going to be making these phone calls, and take away that 50 and 20% where it's 50 on their own list, 20 on yours. Make it even across the board, and you pull the data because you're supposed to be the data expert.
Exactly. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
No, I like that a lot.
Yeah, because if I was working for you and you said 50,
That is awesome.
if you told me 50% on the leads I'm doing, then I'm going to call my leads only.
Yeah, you're gonna keep pulling your own stuff.
Correct.
That makes sense. You know, when he pulled that list, and he continued to pull it a couple times, that was when we were, you know, I was still working my job, and I was like, well, you know, shoot, you've been bringing me a couple leads, why not? You know, I'll continue closing your deals for you. And then he's like, hey man, I want to work for you. I'm like, well, all right, sounds good, and this is the deal. But I definitely like your plan more. That'll keep him incentivized to call my stuff, get his stuff, kick it to the curb, and keep going. Do you have any recommendation? I know in 5 minutes it's almost up. Do you have any recommendation on how many calls those guys should be held, you know, accountable to on let's call it on a weekly basis?
So here's the real thing. If you just want to do regular calls and you want to make sure all their calls are recorded, so you want to use something like CallFire or something like that to record their calls.
Okay.
You need to hold.
Can I record through Mojo?
You can, but you know what? Mojo is almost an expense you don't need, because what you need to be doing as an owner, what you need to be doing as an owner right now is get them 2 CallFire accounts. I think that's what the name of it is. And then what's gonna happen is you need to be the one picking the data, and you need to make sure the data is good. And if the data is real good, then all they need to be calling every day, they need to be doing about 40 to 50 calls a day. And I know that sounds low, but if you're giving them real data, like pre-foreclosures, if you're giving them actual vacant houses, people that are in tax delinquent, stuff like that, if you give them that type of data, calling 50 people a day is a lot. And then they should be making at least 10 offers a week. Okay. And then you'll start seeing results, and gamify it. Put the stats up on the board daily. Make sure everybody reached their quota. Just stuff like that, so that you can keep them accountable. They can be in competition against each other, and you can create a fun environment for them to work in.
Yeah. Cool. That's dope. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Thank you so much for this phone call.
Absolutely, man.
I appreciate that a lot.
I appreciate you, Rick.
No problem. Thank you. I see you on Instagram all the time. You like my stuff. I appreciate that.
Absolutely, sir, man. Have a good one.
Hey, you too.
Bye. So I think that's pretty cool. I want to keep doing this every week, making phone calls, posting the video on YouTube. So if you haven't yet added your phone number to my phone book, do that. Go to my Instagram page. There's a number at the top. Call or text me. Add yourself to my phone book, and maybe you'll be on one of these phone calls in the future. All right, guys. Talk to you later.